This is a proposal for a constitutional amendment to abolish taxes. I know that there's an ongoing debate between people whether they retain any faith in government or if they wish to do away with government altogether for private associations. I think my proposal can be a vehicle for that debate without trying to force the decision on anybody. The proposal is this, that instead of taxes, government entities be made to crowdfund whatever programs they wish to institute. Thereby, you have an immediate feedback in people choosing whether they will pay for that program or not. I think the best possible iteration of this idea would be if any state entity, local up to federal, itemized whatever program you're talking about on websites where people go and choose by each line item what they will contribute disposable income to for their own benefit because they approve the program. This would be exceedingly better than having, say, a local municipality just having a GoFundMe page for the whole municipality and you're not actually commenting on the whatever specific program they want to implement. I can already imagine the comment sections people saying, well, this system will never happen, it will never be adopted. It's brand new, I still have to mention some ideas of what would shore it up, but I'm not even totally confident in myself. It is something that I think could stand to gain popularity, and we can push the issue to maybe adopt it. I certainly don't think it would be accepted right away, but if we can save discussion about that, are there any merits to the idea at all? That's what I want to discuss. So, what I would further ask it to be formed as is, after each line item is listed, and it's a voluntary association, no one's going to be hunted down for not paying, it's just deciding if the program being sponsored by the government, now being sponsored by the citizens directly, will it continue to exist? And any new program they try to introduce will be immediately decided if the people approve of it or not, or if a sufficient number approve of it or not. So some of the securities in this program, this whole system would be, there would be a ceiling at some value that limits how much any one person can give. This would hopefully prevent deep pockets from overly influencing the government now that we're trying to put more of it in the hands of the people. Secondly, contributors should absolutely be citizens of whatever country we're talking about, and it should be absolutely people. We're doing away with the idea that an organization can be considered a person. No, we're going back to people are people, and organizations of people don't get to just be called an organization and indemnify themselves. No, a person must contribute, and they will be limited on how much they can give. One thing I have not fully decided on is what if there is some imaginary government program that the people would generally be against, but some big deep pocket has decided to pay for, and so they launder the money through giving money to so many people and they say you pocket 50% and give the other 50% to whatever program they're trying to pay for. At this time, I really have no solution for such an eventuality, and I'm not really sure what program could be getting funded that people don't want to see funded. But this all does require more responsibility on the citizen. Specifically, there could be good programs that people would want paid for, but they decide they can't afford it. There's really no way around that. You would have to keep to what you can pay for, and this would hopefully sponsor a more conservative government. Additionally, anything that does not receive sufficient funding, speculation should be illegal in the system. That meaning you don't get to go into debt. You pay for it at the time, on time, or whatever program you're talking about stops dead. And anything that does not receive sufficient funding through the government's crowdfunding is either handled privately or you seek out charity, which remains a moral solution. So if there's any question of something that absolutely should be handled by government, then anything that people can agree on will be paid for. If it does not receive sufficient funding, then the people, or at least enough of them, have decided that they would rather it not exist. For any program you can imagine that, for the sake of argument, will assume it is an objective good, but it only serves a minority of people, and the majority have decided they're not going to pay for it. Again, I have to return you to charity. Having said what I said, I would like to hear feedback on what people think about this system. Do you think it would improve anything? I'll go ahead and ask, how much work do you think would need done for it to be adopted? That's kind of I'm not as interested in that question. I'm more interested in what do I do to shore up this idea, to make it a stronger, better idea, that it can survive the real world. Because I'm quite certain I haven't thought of all the eventualities, so I am really desperate for feedback, because I think there is a kernel of something good here. So please, have a prosperous conversation in the comment section down below, and let me know what you think about this idea. Thank you for watching. And you have just been programmed.